Tigers baseball. And we lost his great voice 5 years ago yesterday. Mickey York, now with a look back at a Hall of Fame career and a Hall of Fame individual.
Lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone, the flowers appear on the earth, the time of the singing of birds is come, and the voice of the turtle is heard in our land.
From the sandy shores of Lake Michigan to the busy streets of Detroit, people all over the state of Michigan listen to Ernie Harwell spin the tales of the Detroit Tigers for more than 40 years.
I think that everybody realizes the strengths and the weaknesses of the Detroit Ball Club for 1960.
How about the young fellas, Al, on this team? You think we've got some pretty good prospects?
Long regarded as one of baseball's most iconic announcers, no one called a game quite like Ernie.
He swings a line shot, base hit, right field, the Tigers win it. Here comes K-Line to score, and it's all over. Downward singles, the Tigers mob Don. K-Line has scored, the fans are streaming on the field, and the Tigers have won their first pennant since 1945.
But what truly set him apart was his uncanny ability to make everyone around him feel important.
I always just say when you're around greatness, like I used to be around Ted Williams, you say, God speaking. And to me, Ernie Harwell is probably the most perfect person who has ever come this way through Michigan, through the Tiger fans. He has probably been the most perfect man you can ever imagine.
He'd go into the opposing clubhouse, and here's a guy who's called 8,000 Major League games, and he'd still pop his head in the manager's office and say, "Hi, Ernie Harwell, glad to see you." I think they knew who he was at that point, but no, and I think, and that was just him. He never, I think, thought of him as anything that was bigger than just one guy doing a job and doing it the best he could.
In September of 2009, it was revealed Ernie had been diagnosed with an inoperable form of cancer. A few days later, in an on-field ceremony, he spun one last tale to the Tigers faithful.
Thank you very much. In my almost 92 years on this earth, the good Lord has blessed me with a great journey. And the blessed part of that journey is that it's going to end here in the great state of Michigan. And you Tiger fans are the greatest fans of all. No question about that. And I certainly want to thank you from the depth of my heart for your devotion, your support, your loyalty, and your love. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
5 years ago, on May 4th, 2010, Ernie Harwell passed away at the age of 92. The Tigers were in Minnesota that night. During the seventh inning stretch, the Twins made the announcement, and fans paid tribute to him with a moment of silence and a standing ovation.
Please join us in taking a moment to honor the memory of one of the great gentlemen in the history of the game.
Days later, Tigers fans had their own chance to say goodbye during a memorial service held at Comerica Park. Fans were given the opportunity to pay their respects to the kind voice which had graced the airwaves for more than 40 years.
You know, when you grow up and you listen to a guy and you drive down 75 coming to the ballpark and hear him on the pregame show, and you're out cutting the grass and you have Ernie with you, you're out at the beach and you have Ernie with you, he's almost like he's a part of your family.
Ernie Harwell transcended what it meant to be a broadcaster. He was the voice of Tigers baseball.
Thank you for letting me be part of your family. Thank you for taking me with you to that cottage up north, to the beach, the picnic, your workplace, and your backyard. Thank you for sneaking your transistor under the pillow as you grew up loving the Tigers. Now, I might have been a small part of your life, but you've been a very large part of mine, and it's my privilege and honor to share with you the greatest game of all.
You know, guys, there'll never be anybody quite like Ernie Harwell, and Yeah, I know earlier today Matt Shepard talked about he had his transistor radio listening, and where I grew up in a small town in Ohio, I used to drive around pizza delivery truck and I was in high school, and I was always listening to Ernie Harwell on the broadcast. I never had the privilege of meeting the man, but you guys did. I wonder if, Rod, you could tell us maybe your greatest Ernie Harwell memory.
You know what, I didn't get a chance to spend a whole lot of time around Ernie Harwell, but the little time that I did spend around him, it didn't take long for me to understand just how nice a man he was, how much he cared about people. It didn't really matter who you were, the best guy on the roster, the 25th guy on the roster, he treated you the same. He knew your name. He's the guy that really checked his ego at the door in an industry where it's very difficult to check your ego at the door because people are always telling you how good you are. But what a classy man, and no doubt that he is missed here in the state of Michigan.
I was that guy, the 25 man. 2002, I was on the shuttle, AAA, big leagues, up and down. Ernie Harwell knew who I was. He came into the clubhouse and said, "Hi, I'm Ernie Harwell." I'm like, "I'm Craig Rowe." But he already knew who I was. I was like, this is awesome. One of the greatest ever. He knows my name. I was just thrilled and floored that he is such a humble and respected man around the game of baseball.
I told this story earlier in the pregame show, and in my scorebook. Some days you come to the ballpark and you might have had a bad day, you might have not, you know, you've been stuck in traffic, but I write EH in my scorebook every single day. And it just, when I look down, it just gets me right back to that humbleness of Ernie, knowing how he was and how he treated every single situation, and it just allows me to get through a lot of days.
Very good, man. Yeah, I always say, you know, it's not everybody else's fault you're having a bad day. And Ernie Harwell certainly made everybody feel as though they were the most important person at that particular time when he was talking to you.
He did.
Great stuff from you guys. Hey, we have a lot more to come here coming up on